Foreign tower, slash and burn, return. Listen to yourself churn. Locking in, uniform and book burning, blood letting every motive escalate. Automotive incinerate. Light a candle, light a motor, step down, watch and heal, crush, oh, this means no fear. Cavalier, renegade, steering clear. A tournament of lies. Offer me solutions, offer me alternatives, and I decline. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. The other night I drifted nice, continental drifted by mountain, sit in a line. Leonard Bernstein, Leonard Brezhnev, Lenny Bruce and Lester Banks, birthday party, cheesecake, jelly bean, boom, you symbiotic, patriotic, slam button, that right? It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. And I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel
Hello and welcome to Music for the End of the World here on 93.7 Edge FM in the lovely Bega Valley. I'm Chris and I'm joined once again by Cass.
Evening, everyone, again.
Evening, Cass. And you have us for the next hour or so. And we're going to be talking about AI. Artificial intelligence. That's what it stands for, I think. We're going to be talking about it. What does it mean in the scheme of collapse, man? You know, like, we're all going down. We know that, don't we? We're going down the gurgler, Cass. The end is nigh. Is AI going to do anything?
Well, that's up for discussion, isn't it?
It is. And I've got a few interesting ideas and points of view to discuss tonight about that particular subject. Music-wise, what have we got on? Well, obviously I'll be playing, I've got a mate over, who's on the bus to Swansea, actually, over in Wales. So I'll be playing a song for you, Steve. Welsh artist, of course. And then maybe some, I don't know, Ed Cooper maybe, or, I don't know. Did you choose a song tonight, Cass?
I did. I'm just trying to remember what song
What
I
song did you choose? I can't see any song here in my lineup that you might have chosen. Maybe
I'll
some.
remind you in the break.
Yeah, okay.
I'll remind
Maybe
you in the
some South African tunes, some Soweto Jive, maybe Angelique Kidjo, maybe some Solomons. We haven't played some Solomon songs for a while for our friends over there. Of course, we play the Gimmies. And maybe some Neil Murray. I don't know why. I've just been listening to Neil Murray today, who is an excellent, fantastic Australian artist who was in the Warumpi Band, among many other.
A fantastic
He is
local
really,
Indigenous band.
really good songwriter. Okay, so that's what's happening tonight, peeps. So without further ado, I think we should get straight into one song, and then we'll be talking about AI. Or maybe I'll
Sounds
do a
good.
quick wrap-up of things. I mean, Doomers, you know what's going on. It's all crashing, man. We've got fires, floods, hurricanes, cyclones, starvation, wars. What else, Cass? Have I missed something? You're always telling me about all these things.
No, I think there's just really the whole gambit of
Yeah.
you know, the whole ecosystem being upended.
Yes, the end of the world as we know it. So I might talk a little bit about that. We'll see. But first of all, let's have a bit of music straight up, and quite a sort of opportune title: "The World Spins Madly On," because of course the world will spin madly on after we've gone extinct very soon. I mean, it's the end of the world as we know it. So, of course, the planet, the rock, will continue spinning through space, hurtling around the sun for another couple of billion years before it becomes a black hole. So the world spins madly on by the Weepies. Have you heard of them, Cass?
No, but I think I know the song. Put it on and we'll see.
All right, so here we go, peeps. First song of the night. World spins madly on, the Weepies.
I woke up and wished that I was dead, with an aching in my head. I lay motionless in bed. I thought of you and where you'd gone. Let the world spin madly on. And everything that I said I'd do, like make the world brand new, take the time for you. I just got lost and slept right through the dawn, and the world spins madly on. Let the day go by. I always say goodbye. I watch the stars from my windowsill. The whole world is moving and I'm standing still. I woke up and wished that I was dead, with an aching in my head. I lay motionless in bed. The night is here, and the day is gone, and the world spins madly on. I thought of you, and where you're gone, and the world spins madly on. And the world spins madly on. And the world spins madly on, and on, and on. Yeah,
The Weepies, with the world spins madly on.
Yeah, nice song.
It is a nice song. Yeah. Okay, let's go hard and let's go early. Let's have a couple of messages from our lovely sponsors.
You might be familiar with Coastal Country Sheds and Garages, but now you'll notice the name has changed to Fair Dinkum Builds Bega Valley. A little change that goes a long way for our customers. We'll always be your local experts when it comes to building commercial premises with flexible builds, quality material and great service. And we're stepping things up even further. For you, for keeps. Search Fair Dinkum Builds today or drop by and see us at 3 West Street, North Bega.
Fair Dinkum Builds Bega Valley is the long-time sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM.
Shakespeare asked, what's in a name? Well, in Bendigo Community Bank Pandia and Bega's case, absolutely everything. As their name suggests, they're a community bank, setting them apart from the big city banks because they're owned by the community, run by the community, for the community. So every dollar they make makes it back into the community. Since opening, that totals a whopping $1 million and counting. That's a million good reasons to bank with Bendigo Community Bank Pandia and Bega, and you don't need a 16th century playwright to tell you that.
Bendigo Bank is a proud sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors, without whom we wouldn't be able to function. Now, getting back on to our topic tonight, which is AI. Now, before we go to AI, Cass, I just want to have a quick little rave about economics. And I don't know, did you study economics at school?
No.
No. I did for one semester. We had to. It was compulsory. And it wasn't my cup of tea. And the weird thing is that it's all about value, right? And value comes in many shapes and forms. What would be two of the most valuable things, do you think, on this planet, on Earth, to humans? Just think of...
Are we talking from a personal perspective?
No,
or from
no, we're not
what
talking
we
from a
think
personal...
our
No, not what
society-
you find valuable,
what our
darling, because
society-
it's going to be something different. But, you know, just generally, what does society find really valuable?
We know
What do they
society-
stock up on when
well,
things go bad? People always buy lots of...
apart from toilet paper.
No, yes, apart from toilet paper.
If you're talking about like what society values, you'd say what, you know, things like obviously gold.
Gold.
Gold is very important, and things like jewels and gems,
Diamonds.
Yep.
Yes. Two of the most valuable things on the planet,
Yep.
right? They're inert, biologically inert substances, right? But they've got immense value. To us. Not to our pigs at home, but to us. While conversely, things like dead leaves or mud or seawater or desert dust have little monetary type value in our human economy, but extreme huge importance for the planet. All those dead leaves particularly. So the human economy represents an inversion of the value hierarchy of the ecosystem. So that all those timeless natural resources become cheap and single-use consumables in our society, whereas expensive human consumer products, gold rings, e.g., have zero value for Earth, but massive value in our human society. So in this sense, human civilization is a perverse aberration within the planet's biology and ecology.
And we've most probably moved more away from, most probably traditionally going back into more, more undeveloped pre-industrial revolution periods. People would have gone things like, the value of things would have been like, as it is with, current societies, particularly in the Pacific, would be animals, livestock.
Yes.
So pigs,
Salt,
and cows.
things like that.
And certain ingredients.
Things that keep you alive.
So at least at that point, they had a, whether you thought it's ridiculous or not that a pig or a cow is worth whatever the financial value that they put on it. At least you could understand it had a purpose. Whereas something like a gold ring or a diamond ring that costs
more than what an ordinary person would earn in a year. I know. So it's no surprise then that economics, getting back to economics, the study of how resources, energy and goods are used and exchanged, suffers from this same inversion of value hierarchy. So the problem with economics, I reckon, is that it is based on money, an abstract representation of value, used exclusively by us, Homo sapiens, to describe assets valuable only to us, not to the planet, though, not to the biosphere, not to the web of life. And all currencies are a distortion of value. And money perversely allows tangible value to be distorted, speculated, fluctuated, betted upon. The distortion of value that we call money embodies the two main drivers behind civilizational collapse: human supremacy and growth, because that's what they're all about, aren't they?
Yeah, well, it's not, well, just the fact that we put more stock, or hold with more value, currency and things like that, or gold rather than things like trees. I mean, imagine if trees were were actually appreciated for the true value that they are. If people went, great, I've got 50 trees on my property or in my yard, or people saying, wow, that's great. You're so you're wealthy, and it's just a different.
I know,
thing, isn't it?
it's weird, and that's part of our predicament, people. I mean, it's no one's fault. It's just how it is. It's just how.
Well, I think it's
our
what
history
what
is.
capitalism
Well,
has
it
sort
is.
of driven us to.
It's capitalism, man.
That's the result of capitalism.
That's what it is. So when people start calling you a socialist or a communist, something you should take that with pride, I reckon. Because capitalism has brought us to where we are, which of course is going over the cliff, and we can't climb back. All right, back to AI, people. Artificial intelligence. Now, I'm just going to read a little post here from Kevin Hester over in New Zealand, and Guy McPherson, who is a scientist who is very involved in collapse. And they're saying that scientists have estimated that the power requirements of data centers in North America, because for AI you need data
massive,
centers, right?
Massive.
Increased from 2,688 megawatts at the end of 2022 to 5,341 megawatts at the end of 2023. And most of that was driven by the demands of AI and Bitcoin.
That's right.
Cryptocurrency mining.
Yeah, and mining for Bitcoin, massive.
So globally, the electricity consumption of data centers rose to 460 terawatts in 2022. And this would have made, this would have made data centers the 11th largest electricity consumer in the world. The 11th largest.
Wow. What is
So
that?
bigger than most countries.
Bigger than countries.
Most countries.
Wow.
I mean, what are there? 190 something countries or something in the world? And this is the 11th largest. They sit between, here we go. They sit the 11th largest between Saudi Arabia and France. France is 10th, Saudi Arabia is 12th, according to the Organisation for Economic Cooperation and Development. And, I mean, they're consuming heaps of electricity, power, but also, and maybe a lot of people don't know this, they consume huge amounts of water.
Oh, really? Why is that?
For cooling, for the data centers.
But you'd think they're not. It's not like they're
Because
massive.
all those-
They're not power.
No, but it's all the,
Power
what do you call it,
houses.
servers, and they all need to be cooled down. And the only way they can do that is having a water cooling system going through.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I can understand, like with power plants and with mining and things like that, that they have massive amounts of water that they're needing to churn through. But yeah, I would never have attributed water use to servers.
Yeah. And as Guy McPherson says, AI is a product of human knowledge and intellect. So as a result, it is constrained by human knowledge and human intelligence. That's why I like Guy McPherson. He refers to AI as arrogant idiot because it's only relying on human intelligence. I mean, and like, I don't know about you people out there listening, but you notice AI everywhere now, particularly if you're on the internet. It's pervasive.
Yeah, well,
everywhere.
I think as we were saying before, it's
Not that I've used it, I haven't.
But that's the thing, is you don't even know. I think now it's become so integrated into so many platforms and systems that you most probably don't even know that you are using it. I mean, you've got the sort of standard kinds of things you think of, Chat GBT and
Yep.
things that actually, you set a specific task for. But I think it's, I think it's well beyond that.
Yeah, that's right. And like, then of course also you got all the trouble going on now about AI with human creativity. Writing songs or scripts or and obviously it's going to lead to blatant disregard for intellectual property. And that's why,
absolutely. Because
I've read a
it's
few
interesting, isn't it? Copyright in that
yeah.
that space. I mean, that'll be a whole new legal practice. Copyright with AI, because AI is obviously borrowing from every intellectual.
Well, they
source that
use.
you
I mean,
have.
that's the thing. They don't like They use all the the massive online libraries and
they just absorb everything and then
they absorb everything and they don't pay anything for it.
Yeah.
I know the tech bros. They get it all for free and then charge a fortune. Yeah, I know it's lots of different problems coming up to it. All right, that's what we're talking about tonight, people. AI. And I would like to play a few more songs tonight than normal, if I can. So this one is for a friend of ours over on the bus to Swansea. It's by the Stereophonics, which is one of my favourite Welsh bands. And this song is There's Always Going to Be Something. And ain't that true? There's always going to be something. Until there isn't. And then we're gone. This is the Stereophonics. There's always going to be something.
Yesterday's doing fine, not too much on my mind. Dragging my feet in the sand, looking out at the sea. Today my mind's not right, got the weight of the world on fire. I'm burning my energy, I'm bringing me to my knees. In this 21st century, so help this sinner please. This is only one part of me, yeah. 'Cause there's always gonna be something. So what's it gonna be today? Yeah, there's always gonna be something. So what's it gonna be today? Bayonet tongue is silence, whispering just to remind us. Imposter cries to the thief, stop stealing pain for yourself. I leave nothing for deathbed bones, and the solitude just the jokes, igniting my energy, I'm bringing me to my knees. In this 21st century, so help this sinner please. This is only one part of me, yeah. 'Cause there's always gonna be something. So what's it gonna be today? Yeah, there's always gonna be something. So what's it gonna be today? What's it gonna be today? Yeah, there's always gonna be something. So what's it gonna be today? Yeah, there's always gonna be something.
Lovely. Stereophonics with There's Always Going to Be Something. Ain't that the truth? Okay, you're listening to 93.7 Edge FM here in the Bega Valley, and you're listening to music for the end of the world. And now it is time, very quickly, for a couple more sponsor messages.
Have you heard about the family restaurant at Club Bega? They serve classic and modern Australian meals and are open for lunch and dinner every day. You can try the Wednesday night schnitty deal, where for $20, with your schnitty comes a free drink and bonus tickets in the raffle. Oh, and kids eat free on Sunday and Tuesday nights. Please call 6492 1903 to book. And Club Bega sponsor this station as a service to the community.
Here is the news. Spiral Gallery is calling for all artists to get their entries to the plethora of postcards exhibition people promptly. With panache and punctuality, pour yourself into the A6 panel with a painting, a pictogram, a print, a portrait, paper mache, a picture on parchment or plain paper, plastic or polyvinyl, whether it be pretty or pretentious, a parody or primitive, pointillist or Pollock-like, in pencil or pen or plumbago. Be particularly prompt and your work will be on a pedestal for the public to peruse, and there are even prizes to procure. Entry forms at Spiral Gallery or email spiralpostcards@gmail.com. I hope you found this bulletin perspicuous.
Your new date to get entries into the plethora of postcards is now the 6th of June.
Thank you, dear sponsors. All right, back to AI. Or not AI? Is this the question? Poses Tristan. Tristan Sykes from Just Collapse. And he writes, firstly, let's also acknowledge that we're experiencing an energy crisis. Yes, we are. And that AI is 100% reliant on energy. So there's that, right? And this doesn't seem to get factored into these catastrophic AI imaginary scenarios. I don't know why, but no one ever talks about that. It's always talking about machines taking over. But they need energy, man.
Yeah,
So where are they getting energy from?
Yeah.
And as another friend told me, I think, is it Bill Gates who's, or Bezos? I think it's Gates who's getting a nuclear reactor up and running to power,
it. Yeah.
his servers for AI. Yeah. Okay. So Tristan goes on. Let's be real. Whether a genuine AI turns up and or takes over is arguably moot because we've already swallowed the cyanide. Ask yourself this question. Is being wiped out by AI really any worse than the climate ecological mass extinction event we've already set in train? What do you think, babe?
Well, it's almost like a. It's hard to tell again. We're talking about what is the truth in news and things that you hear, but it's almost like it's a distraction, isn't it? It's the fact that we sort of getting told, and you hear these stories about the dangers of AI and that AI is going to take over the world.
That's right.
And they will, replicate and have their own intelligence and make their own decisions. And so you start then thinking, oh, that's what we need to be worried about. That's a serious concern. But exactly, I think, as Tristan said, is that there's a real, live, true, factually based, threat to
that's happening right
the human
now.
species.
We're in the middle of it
right now.
It's called collapse, people.
And and we're people are sort of getting distracted by thinking that this is what we need to put our energy into. We need to sort of be mindful in how we're going to regulate it and how do we control the AI market and industries. But exactly. Meanwhile, the whole rest of the ecological overshoot continues on.
That's right. Tristan goes on to say, at the outset, it's always important to recognise that the lion's share of conspicuous extraction, consumption and pollution, as you said, Cass, belongs to the wealthy west of our world, often called the global north. Nonetheless, this mechanism of exploitation having its roots in hierarchical and exploitative power structures which go back to the emergence of the first city-states has extended tentacles which now penetrates into every accessible orifice of opportunity. There are tentacles which, of course, facilitate global ecological overshoot, which is what you mentioned, babe, because that's what we're into, by the ongoing extraction of resources to build all these data centres across the globe for the continuing benefit of the few at the expense of the many. And that's what I always like to remember too. You know, even though there's 8 billion of us on here on the planet, and we're all part of this overshoot, it benefits only a tiny few, really, way more than the majority of humanity.
It's very interesting because it's a little bit like the old saying. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but just that whole concept that we're encouraged to think, act locally, think globally.
Yeah.
But we don't think globally, because if we really were thinking globally, we'd be aware that all of our actions and all the things that we do, and particularly coming from a first world country, has a major impact on the rest of the global population.
Let's just take a simple thing like genocide. I mean, you look over in Palestine, in Gaza, and you see what Israel's doing, and yet Australia, we're still selling them. We're selling them some part of a missile delivery system or something. We're not selling them weapons, but we're selling them something which enables them to use their weapons, But it still goes on. No one's, there's no... It's shut down by the media and by the leaders, really, by political leaders. Mm. It's a disgrace.
It is. I mean, if we were thinking more globally, then maybe there'd be a situation where people would ask the question about any kind of activities or new developments of what amount of energy is required to fulfil this. So is it, if you're manufacturing something, well, we talk about the cost. It's always about how much will it cost to produce it and get your materials and things. But if nobody's really entered into that equation, the cost of the energy, and then you go, well, if something is going to take a lot of energy, so if you look at AI, you go, does it really justify, is it justified
using all that extra
when
energy?
It is going to take, particularly the stats that you were talking about.
That's right.
Is it really okay?
Yep.
Is it something that we need? That's the other question. Do we need it as far as everyday consumers?
So Tristan goes on to say that even though climate change is only one head of the hydra, that is our predicament of human ecological overshoot, outcomes of climate change remain very much existential. So regarding climate action, as yet there is no credible evidence to suggest that we are significantly deviating from business as usual.
No, at the moment, that's right. There's nothing.
In fact, we're sort of, I think it tends to show that we're accelerating over the cliff even faster.
Well, the US is certainly putting the metal to the pedal.
Yeah, as Tristan says, as if hoping the vehicle we're driving is capable of sprouting wings and flying away into the sunset. He says, imagine this is a great metaphor. Imagine a smoker being told by their doctor they have a 50-50 chance of dying unless they radically reduce their smoking immediately. So then imagine that same smoker ups their habit from 2 to 3 packs a day. That's what global climate action looks like. There you go. There's my black humour segment right there.
But I think it's interesting as well, because that is also a natural human reaction. I mean, I think about things every time you say, right, you're going to cut down, or you're not going to eat this kind of food, or you're going to lose weight, or you're going to save money, or you're going to whatever those things that. For some reason, your natural response is suddenly you find yourself in that excess. It's almost like the threat of losing something means that you want to do it even more.
Yep.
I don't know, maybe that's where we're at.
So consequently, climate anxiety, because we spoke about this a little bit last week, about our mental health issues, quite understandably, is a thing. It's a real thing. It's like recognising reality, man. That's what it is. But so too is the mass extinction event that is the biodiversity crisis. That's the real thing too. And again, of course, this is another symptom, yet another head on the hydra of, what is our predicament?
Overshoot.
Ecological overshoot, Cass. Well done. That's it, people. That's exactly what it is.
But it almost it's interesting, isn't it? Because on the sort of general media news waves is that you're not hearing at the moment about sort of the extinction of species. You know, every now and then you get a story, but all of that is still churning on. While nothing happens with that, means more and more plants, animals are going extinct at the moment.
Well, they're going. Well,
and it's just not.
That's why
it's
some
not
people are
figuring.
saying the sixth, although there's a bit of disagreement over the sixth or seventh or whatever great mass extinction event, because we've had a few on the planet, but this one is happening much quicker than any of the other, including the meteor hitting the Earth with the dinosaurs. That took years and years and years and years and years and years and years, lots and lots of years.
But it is at the moment what I find in the mainstream media outlets is that what is being talked about though is much more climate change and
That's what they're fixated
That's-
on. CO2, net
That's the
zero.
focus.
That's they just keep saying that everything's going to be okay
But it's like we can't seem to sort of focus on
No,
maybe
of
like
course
too many. It's so we sort
because
of
they're morons, or they are deliberately lying to us. Take your pick. Anyway, Tristan goes on to say, extreme human ecological overshoot has led to the displacement and extinction of a great many species, as we know. We've spoken about it here. And extinction, it turns out, isn't just a bummer for those individual species, but it also happens to destabilise the trophic webs leading to ecosystemic collapse, as relationships of symbiosis and predator-prey are torn asunder, typically to be replaced with monoculture or mining. And it is this exploitation and extraction of ecosystems that is driving what many are calling the sixth mass extinction, as we said, babe. And across time, the rate of extinctions of individual species is typically very slow, generally. By comparison, your average mass extinction event, and as we said, we've experienced several, is quite fast. However, our contemporary extinction event is eclipsing all of the others before it, even including the big one, as I said, the Great Dying. It's not good. There's this cartoon of these dinosaurs. They've got a big T-Rex talking to a Stegosaurus, and the T-Rex is, and there's a big comet coming down with a big trail, fire trail behind it. This is like the beginning of the thing. And the T-Rex is going, have we tried positive thinking? Yeah. Okay. Time for another song before we keep on going. What are we going to have? Who do we always play on this show, Cass?
I wonder who that would be.
I wonder who that
Would
could
it
be. One of the greatest bands in the world.
Me First.
It is Me First and the Gimme
Gimme
Gimmes.
Gimmes.
And this time it's a Chris Christopherson cover. And like many of the Gimme songs, you listen to the originals, they suck so bad. I would never listen to them.
that's very
well, I'm
personal.
sorry,
That is
Cass,
a
but it is
personal,
true.
Opinion, that
They're
one.
rubbish. But when the Gimmes do it, they just make them magic. And this one is no exception. The Chris Christopherson Sunday Morning Coming Down. Enjoy, people. Me First and the Gimmes.
Well, I woke up Sunday morning with no way to hold my head that didn't hurt. And the beer I had for breakfast wasn't bad, so I had one more for dessert. Then I fumbled in my closet through my clothes and found my cleanest sturdy shirt. And I washed my face and combed my hair, stumbled down the stairs. coming down.
Yes, the gimmies. Oh, aren't they so good, Cass? Don't you just love them? Fantastic. All right. We are talking about AI. And what massive danger is it presenting us? And I've been reading a little bit of Tristan Sykes' post about AI. And he goes on to say that human ingenuity has enabled a great many things, such as modern medicine, entertainment industry, military-industrial complex, and it's also allowed us to create novel entities or forever chemicals and microplastics and nanoparticulates, which are ubiquitous across the planet. They're everywhere. In the water we drink, the food we eat, the air we breathe. These carcinogenic endocrine disrupting entities can also be found in significant concentrations in our brains, in our organs, even in human breast milk, Cass. Did you know that? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We just had a granddaughter a couple of years ago. I'm sure she would have had some of those particles in her when she was born.
Well, I think virtually what they're saying is that no
one is immune. That's right. They're everywhere, man. Even if you're a hermit living on the top of Everest, they're there, baby. Yeah. So the effect of this, along with other contributing factors, has led to the case in the late second half of the 20th century, human sperm count fell by 50%. And it's actually increasing. You've heard of Spermageddon, Cass. We've spoken about Spermageddon here on the show before. Yeah. So even forgetting death of the biosphere, climate change, AI, forget all that. We will probably be functionally extinct by 2040 if our sperm count decrease continues on the road that it is going.
Well, it'd be interesting to see what the stats. I completely agree, and I think you hear stories all the time about, Spermageddon and reduction in fertility. But I suppose other people sort of listening, or people who who are a little bit more suspicious or wary and think it's think collapse is all a conspiracy, would be sort of saying, well, why do we have this overpopulation problem in the world if there's this reduction in fertility? Why is overpopulation still such a major issue? Well,
our sperm count has only been going down, say for 40 years or so, 50 years, But because of our, advances in science, in medicine, prenatal care, all that sort of stuff, which all relies
people
on...
are living, that's right.
People are living longer.
First world countries are living longer.
There are less... the infant mortality is decreased a little bit in most places in the world. But there are some countries now that have a decreasing population count.
That's right. And that's right. I think we've talked about that.
Mainly first world countries.
And incentives, wasn't it in Korea?
Yep.
It's got, incentives. Japan's struggling big time with their population and fertility rates.
Yep. So Tristan goes on to say that even if, if you imagine that we've created limitless emissions-free energy out of thin air, somehow we could get energy without causing any problems. We've organised our entire civilization around restoring ecological balance. Imagine if we did that. And we've managed to remove all these forever chemicals and microplastics and everything like that from the land and the water and our bodies and the atmosphere and everything now that humans now consume and wear is all made from vat-grown protein. Problem solved? Well, not really, says Tristan. Not unless you've got some interdimensional space alien techno-magic. No, unfortunately, the laws of thermodynamics still apply, and in particular, entropy. So the nature of entropy, Cass, is that when anything changes, transforms, or regenerates, it does so with power gained by converting a higher grade of energy into a lower grade of energy, and therefore generating waste in the process. And it happens across the universe at the atomic and chemical styles and happens within all living beings, flora, fauna. And in the process of change, some part of the energy used is radiated as heat, and the transformed material, living or dead, also generates waste. So waste heat and pollution is fine and dandy within limits, but as with all toxins, it's the ratios of the mix that is critical. So hypothetically, Tristan says, if we were to somehow find the global political will and undertake a really serious planetary scale transformation to restore unpolluted biodiverse ecological systems and a stable climate, which we aren't, how much energy would that really take and how much waste would it produce? And the short answer is, you got a guess, babe? A lot.
A lot.
In effect, the transformation and regeneration of the global human enterprise, which is what our predicament is, our overshoot predicament is a hypergrowth of material and ecological extraction, pollution and energy use. Just as we see in the green revolution, the green renewable revolution, you know, and electrifying everything. You still have to dig everything up. You still got to smelt all those things. You still got to make all those things. So, you know, it's worth pointing out that the energy that we are laughingly attempting to produce to decarbonise the global industrial civilization is all made with fossil fuels. To make your solar panels, to make your wind turbines, to make your electric car. Diesel mining, of course, because they use diesel in the mining industry, and coal smelting. So, you know, these people who go on, oh, but the green revolution is going to save us. No, it's not. It's going to make things probably worse, quicker, seeing we're going to ramp up our mining, I would think. What do you reckon?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think it's saying that, I mean, I know that people have started to have some of those discussions, but absolutely it's another thing that people don't really discuss, and you sort of just talk about green energy and it being the solution, but not really analysing it and scrutinising it to see at, you know, what costs. And again, I mean, I think really if you put that question against everything that you're doing, like how much energy does it take to produce or to do whatever it is that you're doing, you'd have a very different perspective on it. So yeah, I agree. It's, you know, it's an unknown space. People just don't really.
Well, it's not spoken about, and it's not really on the mainstream zeitgeist. So Tristan goes on to say, so whether AI really is a thing or not, and even if we could stabilise and reverse climate change, and even if we could protect and restore extinct species and regenerate habitat and ecosystems through rewilding and regeneration, even if we could remove all the plastics and toxic substances and forever chemicals and stuff from the world, unless we can do it all with interdimensional space alien techno magic that isn't subject to the laws of thermodynamics, it isn't going to go too well. So integrated as humanity is with the machinery of industrial civilization, if AI actually manages to take us out before we kill ourselves, because that's basically what we're doing, and the rest of the planet, Tristan says, I will be surprised and impressed. And I've got to say, I agree with him. Because there's a lot of shit going to go down way before
a lot of stuff
those
happen before that. Exactly.
Terminator machines come and get us. That's for sure. Yes. Thank you, Tristan, from Just Collapse. Always worth a visit. If you're on the net and you're Googling things, just type in Just Collapse, one word, down in Tasmania. An excellent organisation, leading the world, I would say, in talking about collapse and what we can do. Because that's the big question that most people ask, isn't it? Well, what can we do? What do we do? They've got lots of great ideas. Okay. Oh, it's coming up to the end of the show already, babe. And we haven't got all our lovely sponsors' messages. Okay, we're going to have one more message, then we're going to play some more music, Cass. So here we are, people. E2B phone repairs. I've used them myself. Excellent service. Here we go.
E2B Phone Repairs has been fixing the phones of the Bega Valley since 2013. E2B repair mobile phones and tablets of all brands and replace screens, batteries, buttons, sensors and cameras, and all repairs come with a 6-month warranty. E2B has done over 20,000 repairs since they opened and still repair in Bega every Thursday morning. They have a new Bega location at 99 Carp Street with entrance via Canning Street. If your phone or device is not coping with your life, give E2B Phone Repairs a call on 0490 010 109. That's 0490 010 109. E2B Phone Repairs is a proud sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM.
Thank you, dear sponsors, and make sure you give them your patronage, people, if you are here in the Bega Valley. All right, it's coming up to the hour pretty soon, another 6 minutes or so. We'll be winding up music for the end of the world. I'm going to play a song now, Cass. As I said, a Neil Murray song. Do you like Neil Murray?
Love Neil Murray.
And he was in the Warumpi Band, which I saw when I was 18 on the steps of the Opera House. That's a long time ago. They were supporting Midnight Oil. And Neil Murray was playing with them, of course. But this is from his solo career. And Good Light in Broome. I've always wanted to go over to Broome. Have you been to Broome?
No, I haven't been to Broome, but
I'd
everyone
like
says
to
it's
go.
beautiful.
Yeah. For those people who don't know where it is, it's right up sort of the northwest in Western Australia there on the coast. Pretty tropical. But the Pigram brothers live there. And I have played some of their music on the show as well. And I was going to play some of their songs tonight, but I think I'm talking too much and I won't have time. But anyway, this is Neil Murray. Good Light in Broome.
I was hanging out in Sydney and I was going down. I'd done too many parties, my money was running out. Then I met an old man who lived all alone. He had 2 dogs for company, that's all he owned. He was saving his pension for a one-way fare. Said when he had enough, he was getting out of there. I said, really, what are you gonna do? He smiled and said, there's good light in Broome. I went out to Western Queensland, working in the sheds. Met a girl in Quilpie, and we got wed. Moved up to the Gulf, had our firstborn. We were living in a caravan, I was working on the prawns. I came home from a stormy sea. She'd up and gone, left a note for me. On it she wrote, I'm sick of you. That's when I felt there's a good light in Broome. Good light in Broome and I'll be there soon. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Sit on the beach, stare at the moon. Haven't you heard there's good light in Broome? I headed down south, couldn't take the hint. Saw a lot of pubs, I had a lot to drink. I was running pretty ragged, I didn't hardly eat. I was thinking about her and what she did to me. There was a road and a hairpin bend. Then I woke up in a hospital bed. How do you feel? Said a voice in the gloom. I gave the answer, there's good light in Broome. I went trucking out of Melbourne, back and forth to Perth. Didn't take long, and it seemed like a curse. My eyes were on the road, but my mind was somewhere else. When I pulled in to a Nullarbor roadhouse, waitress came over and she's there looking at me. She asked me how I was, I said, a bit ordinary. She said, I thought that might be a tune. I said, don't tell me, there's good light in Broome. Good light in Broome, well I'll be there soon. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Sit on the beach, stare at the moon. Haven't you heard there's good light in Broome? Well, when I get to Cable Beach, I'll fall right out of the truck and into the sea. With my clothes still on, I'll plunge under the waves, and all the dirt will drain away. And just like Bunjil, I'll get 2 dogs, and every evening I'll walk them along on the edge of the country, taking the view. Just like I heard, there's good light in Broome. Good light in Broome, well I'll be there soon. I know exactly what I'm gonna do. Sit on the beach, stare at the moon. Didn't I tell you, there's good light in Broome?
Yes, Good Light in Broome. Neil Murray. Great song. Okay, it has just turned 8 o'clock here on 93.7 Edge FM. It is the end of Music for the End of the World. And I'm going to finish off the AI conversation we've been having, Cass, with a little quote from Guy McPherson, who says, AI seems to be a classic case of trade-offs between individuals and society. The vast majority of us would like somebody else to do the work on our behalf. I mean, who wouldn't? AI seems to offer that potential. As with many other advances in technology, I suspect AI offers more than it can deliver. Scholarship demands that we do the work of critically gathering, collating and organising information. We recently saw how AI was blindly used to indiscriminately assign trade tariffs on islands occupied only by penguins. I mean, there you go. Critical thinking must be part of the process of reaching conclusions, and counting on AI to complete this step is not a good idea. And I tend to agree 100% with Guy. Not a good idea for critical thinking. Yeah. Alrighty. As I say, we've come up to the end of the show. We'll be back next week, people. If you live in the Bega Valley and you would like to come on the show and talk about how you are dealing with collapse, your personal journey with the end of the world as we know it, you're more than welcome to come on. Just email, go to the radio site, email Care of Me or Music for the End of the World, and we'll get back to you. I do have some guests coming up in the next few weeks, I hope. But as I always like to say at the end of every show, Cass, just collapse's sort of little moniker, collapse is inevitable, as we know, Doomers, but justice is not. So we can still try and work and do the right thing, because that's what we are humans try and do, isn't it, Cass?
That
you
is
try and live a good life?
Correct. Absolutely.
That's right. Okay. So it's good night for me.
And it's good night from me.
Good night, Cass. And what are we going to finish off with? Oh, what song? I don't know what song to do. Look, let's continue on the Neil Murray theme. Let's do the Warumpi Band, who he was in, and it's my actually favourite song from the Warumpi Band. It's one of their earliest songs, Jalanguru Pakanu. So until next week, people, take care, build those community relationships, and try and get through what is our predicament at the moment, which is overshoot and collapse. So here's the Warumpi Band with Jalanguru Pakanu. See you next week, people.